चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। तो आप में से जो लोग रविवार को आए थे, हमने भक्ति अकाउंट के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत एक्सप्लेन किया था, राइट। तो ये श्लोका सीरीज सेम है, उसी को हम लोग थोड़ा सा आगे कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं। ऑलरेडी वो लेक्चर आप देख सकते हैं, एक पार्ट में कंप्लीट था, बट उसके बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए हम लोग जो रिमेनिंग श्लोकास है फ्रॉम 41 to 45 अगेन ये करेंगे, डिस्कस करेंगे, राइट। सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन दैट we'll just read out from the purports of Srila Prabhupada what he has given to us, and few of the examples, there are very good examples in this present here, so we'll kind of study them also. So first shloka: prapya punya kratam lokan ushitva shashvati samah suchinam srimatam gehe yoga brashto abhijayate. So we'll skip the word to word meaning and just go with translation and purport. So translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So translation: the unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. Purport: the unsuccessful yogis are divided into two classes. One fallen after very little progress, and one is fallen after a long practice of yoga. The yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to the higher planets, where pious living entities are allowed to enter. After prolonged life there, one is sent back to visit this planet to take birth in the family of righteous Brahmana, Vaishnava, or of aristocratic merchants. The real purpose of yoga practice is to achieve the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, as explained in the last verse of this chapter. But those who do not persevere to such an extent and who fail because of material allurements are allowed by the grace of the Lord to make full utilization of their material propensities. And after that, they are given opportunities to live prosperous lives in righteous or aristocratic families. Those who are born in such families may take advantage of the facilities and try to elevate themselves to full Krishna consciousness. So, if we look at this particular shloka, in this Prabhupada mentions two kind of devotees, right? So, दो लोग कौन कौन होते हैं? एक होता है कि अभी समझिए उसने क्या किया, थोड़ा सा प्रोग्रेस किया, right? He made little progress on this path and then he fell down. The another is if a person who has kind of जो बहुत आगे चला गया, एकदम नियर टू परफेक्शन, वो बोलते हैं ना कि 100 मार्क्स लाने वाला बट 99 पे ड्रॉप्स डाउन, ऐसा। तो मतलब एकदम नियर बाय था, बट ड्यू टू सम अलूरमेंट्स वो गिर जाता है। तो ये दोनों के साथ क्या क्या होता है ये बताया जा रहा है। तो अभी आप देखेंगे, जैसा कि हम लोगों ने लास्ट टाइम डिस्कस किया था, इनके एग्जाम्पल्स में आप देख सकते हैं, जैसे कि इतने सौबरी मुनि हैं, विश्वामित्र जी हैं, ये सब वो एलिवेटेड पर्सनालिटीज है, ऑलरेडी वो योग पद्धति में सिद्ध हैं। दे आर लाइक रीच द पिनाकल, बट ड्यू टू सम discrepancies they fell down due to some attachment, or we can say some attraction or something like that, allurements. तो प्रभुपाद इसमें तो पहले बता रहे हैं, फर्स्ट इज कि जिसने थोड़ा किया उसके साथ क्या होगा। जिसने थोड़ा बहुत प्रोग्रेस किया है, लेट्स से कोई डिवोटी है, वो प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है, बट थोड़ा सा उसने भक्ति में आने के बाद में हम लोग कैजुअल हो जाते हैं, वी स्टार्ट बिहेविंग कैजुअली, the dealings with devotees change, we think they are also like material people, looking out, same, just wearing dhoti kurta tilak and kanthi, that's it, and they have got a different name after this initiation ceremony. The rest everything is same between me and him. They start making offenses, and let's say because of that or some other factor they fall down. So what happens with them is what Prabhupada mentions here, and the acharyas have also said in their commentaries that they are sent to the higher planetary system. So let's say if he goes into the higher planetary system, now he left bhakti because of some allurements. So whatever desires he has, there are, we varied, or we can say, a variegatedness of sense enjoyment available there. Whatever senses you want to enjoy, you get it. So now just see, how Krishna is so merciful. Now this person, it's not like he's following it on the, we can say, opinion of people. लोक मत पे ये नहीं फॉलो कर रहा है कि लोगों ने बोल दिया या सोसाइटी ने बोल दिया आप ये करिए ऐसा करिए इसलिए वो फॉलो कर रहा है तो उसको कृष्णा फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड कर रहा है। नहीं, जो ये प्रोसेस फॉलो कर रहे हैं ये डिवोटी, जिनका शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ टाइम में उनका फॉल डाउन हुआ है, वो योग पद्धति के हिसाब से एज पर दी वैदिक इंस्ट्रक्शंस इज फॉलोइंग, द पाथ ऑफ योगा, भक्ति योगा जो दिया गया है उसको फॉलो कर रहे हैं, वो पद्धति को फॉलो कर रहे हैं, और उस पाथ पे चलते चलते तब उनका क्या हुआ है, पतन हो गया या फिर वो उनका फॉल डाउन हो गया। तो इसलिए कृष्णा इज प्रोवाइडिंग हिम दैट फैसिलिटी। जस्ट सी कि मतलब लोग बोलते हैं ना कि विष्णु के जो भक्त होते हैं उनके लिए बहुत तपस्या होती है, बहुत गरीब होते हैं, कुछ होता है, लेकिन देखिए आफ्टर लाइफ में क्या होता है उनके साथ। स्वर्ग में जाकर के ही एंजॉयज हिज सेंसेस टू हिज लिमिट। ऐसा नहीं कि उसको जल्दी भेज दिया जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं, he enjoys his senses। अब जब वहां पे वो satisfy हो जाता है ना, तृप्त हो जाता है, then he is sent back to this planet। Now since after enjoying so much his senses have become satisfied, so here what happens to him is that he doesn't have taste for any other material enjoyment, and then his this particular endeavor or this second chance that we say, we have a book of Prabhupada called Second Chance, so every one of you must read that also, so that particular second chance he gets, and now in this thing he becomes really fixed in his devotional service। that's one thing। now this is for the person who has not completed, जो थोड़ा सा प्रोग्रेस करके गिर गए। now what about devotees who have completed it और नियर परफेक्शन पे गिर गए। सो यहाँ पे क्या लिख रहे हैं प्रभुपाद इस परपट में कि दे आर गिवन बर्थ इनटू अ वैष्णव फैमिली, और आगे भी श्लोकों में आएगा, उसमें प्रभुपाद और इलैबोरेटली एक्सप्लेन करेंगे इसको। या फिर ऐसे घर में उनको जन्म मिलेगा जो मतलब वेल टू डू है, आइदर फाइनेंशियली और कल्चरली, जो वैदिक कल्चर को फॉलो करते हो। तो वैसे घर में यदि उनको ये मिलता है, जन्म मिलता है, तो क्या होगा, वो आराम से अपने मतलब भौतिक चीजों को छोड़ करके आध्यात्मिक स्तर पे प्रगति कर सकते। दे कैन प्रोग्रेस इन द स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ, दैट्स द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग, एंड दे ऑल नो द इम्पोर्टेंट, क्योंकि लिए वो लास्ट लाइफ तो गिर चुका है ना। तो एग्जाम्पल हम लोग यदि देखेंगे श्रीमद् भागवतम में भरत महाराज का आता है, भरत महाराज का एग्जाम्पल आता है, वो अभी प्रभुपाद आगे स्टेट करेंगे। सो नाउ व्हेन वी मूव अहेड, द थिंग इज कि अभी यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं नेक्स्ट श्लोका में प्रभुपाद कि अगर वो एक बोलते हैं ना कि फैमिली में जन्म लेते हैं आगे चल के, हम जैसे बता रहे हैं जो लॉन्ग टर्म में जो प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है, तो वो अगर जन्म लेता है आगे चल के ऐसे फैमिली में, तो उसका क्या होता है। तो यदि किसी ब्राह्मण के घर में वो जन्म लेते हैं तो ऑब्वियसली दे आर गोइंग टू have that culture। The child will begin reciting shlokas under the guidance of his father, then again we can say that he'll learn shlokas, memorize shlokas, have well-to-do upbringing in this particular context। So now Srila Prabhupada gives two examples of this context, और interestingly Prabhupada example देते हैं अपने spiritual master का, श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती महाराज का, और प्रभुपाद एग्जाम्पल देते हैं अपना खुद का कि किस प्रकार से हम लोग भी एक बहुत अच्छे घर में जन्म हुआ हमारा, जो कि वैदिक कल्चर को फॉलो करते थे। प्रभुपाद इज गिविंग दीज टू एग्जाम्पल्स। नाउ हम लोग देखेंगे टेक्स्ट नंबर 43 में, दिस इज लाइक 42 वेरेन प्रभुपाद से इसकी एरिस्टोक्रेटिक फैमिली में बर्थ मिलेगा या फिर कोई वेल टू डू फैमिली में। एग्जाम्पल प्रभुपाद गिव्स ऑफ हिज ओन कि किस प्रकार से उनको, और सेम एग्जाम्पल जो हमने जड़ भरत महाराज का देखा वो इसमें भी देख सकते हैं। जड़ भरत महाराज स्टार्टिंग में किंग थे, उसके बाद उनको हिरण का ये मिला, फिर उनका नेक्स्ट जो बर्थ हुआ वो एक ब्राह्मण की फैमिली में हुआ था, वेरेन उनके पिताजी ट्राई कर रहे थे टू टीच हिम एवरीथिंग, बट बिकॉज उनका पर्पस ये था कि उनको सब होता ना इन सब चीज़ों से दूर रहना था, तो हर एक चीज़ उल्टा करते थे। वो कोई भी श्लोक बोल रहे हैं तो उसको उल्टा डिसाइड कर देते थे, बोल रहे राइट हैंड से काम करो तो लेफ्ट हैंड से काम करते थे, ऐसा। नाउ अब इसमें बताया जा रहा है कि अभी ये जो डिवोटी है वो एक बार जब बर्थ लेता है, इन टेक्स्ट नंबर 43 इफ यू सी, if he takes his birth, then after taking this birth, his divine consciousness which is already present, कि मतलब ये हमने बताया था ना in the previous Sunday that this bhakti account is as such that wherever you stop, you resume from that point. It's not that you start over again, right? So now this particular devotee जिन्होंने endeavor किया है अपने लाइफ में, then but he fell down ऐसा. So what will happen, he will take that particular step or that particular path, resume that path where he left in his last life. जो उन्होंने लास्ट लाइफ में जहां पे छोड़ा था वहीं से लेंगे. लेकिन अब इसमें सबसे महत्वपूर्ण क्या है कि ही विल बी मच मोर सिचुएटेड या फिक्स्ड रहेंगे. इसके लिए जो सेकेंड लाइफ है, दिस इज लाइक वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इसको बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेस दिया गया है इन दिस पर्टिकुलर एज कंपेयर टू द फर्स्ट बर्थ. पहले बर्थ में चलिए वो कुछ कर रहे हैं, वो बात अलग है, फर्स्ट में उन्होंने भक्ति किया कुछ किया. लेकिन जो उनका सेकंड बर्थ है वो किस लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि वहां पे उनका तो फॉल डाउन हो गया, राइट. और अब जो उनको बर्थ मिला है इसमें उनको पता है कि मैं एक चांस खो चुका हूँ, ये चांस जो है मेरा लास्ट. अभी रिसेंटली आप लोगों ने सुना होगा द रिजल्ट्स फॉर आवर सिविल सर्विसेज, आईएएस के रिजल्ट्स अनाउंस हुए, राइट. So if you would look, या आपके फ्रेंड्स होंगे अगर कोई, तो दे हैव अ सर्टेन नंबर ऑफ लिमिटेड अटेम्प्ट्स, राइट. अगर उसमें वो नहीं कर पाए या वो एज में नहीं कर पाए, उतने नंबर ऑफ अटेम्प्ट्स में नहीं कर पाए, सो इट इज वेस्ट. मतलब जो भी उन्होंने तैयारी की, इतनी मेहनत की, स्टडिंग 18 आवर्स, 16 आवर्स, दैट विल बी अ वेस्ट. तो ये तो भौतिक लाइफ का हम एग्जाम्पल देख रहे हैं कि भौतिक चीजों के एंडेवर के लिए उन लोग क्या क्या नहीं करते हैं, राइट. हमको वो एक स्टेज या एक छोटा सा पोस्ट जो कि टेम्परेरी है, कुछ सालों के लिए रहेगा, राइट. उसके साथ कुछ अच्छी अच्छी फैसिलिटीज आती हैं, उसके लिए हम लोग क्या करते हैं, इतना एंडेवर करते हैं. वो लोग उसको इतना इंपॉर्टेंस देते हैं. इवन कुछ लोग तो बोलते हैं ना, उसकी तैयारी 12th ग्रेड से ही चालू कर देंगे. कोई 10th ग्रेड से बच्चों को डाल करके कोचिंग में IAS IPS ये सब की तैयारियां करवाने लगे. बट दिस इज अल्टीमेट गोल ऑफ लाइफ, राइट. तो हम भौतिक जगत में या भौतिक संसाधनों में इतना खो जाते हैं, दिस सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट्स और सेंसेस, that what we think is that these are everything. But at the end of the day, when you become 30, 40, what happens is you start to realize, what is the reality of life. If you read in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Part 2, Chapter 27, of King Puranjana. So King Puranjana, what happens, he was so busy in enjoying with his whole kingdom, which was well protected, his beautiful queen. He was so busy in enjoying that he never knew that when did that particular time passed. From his, he started enjoying at a particular age, and he actually spent his whole lifetime. So what Prabhupada writes there, that from the age of 16 till 30, our senses are very strong and we can enjoy life. लेकिन जब 30 के बाद क्या होता है ना, we kind of are again de-illusioned. जैसे होता है ना, एक फेज होता है, फर्स्ट टू 16 इज व्हाट, हम जब छोटे होते हैं, आप में से बहुत लोगों ने एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा इसको, तो हमको बड़ा बनने की बहुत जल्दी होती है कि हाँ बड़े हो जाएं, थोड़ा नौकरी लग जाए, कुछ हो जाए, इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाएंगे ऐसा. फिर उसके बाद में एक एज में आते देखते हैं हाँ क्या करना है, 16 पे आ गए, फिर सोचते हैं अच्छा सिर्फ बड़ा बनना था. उस टाइम पे गोल क्या था, सिर्फ बड़ा बनना है. कैसे बनना है वो 16 के बाद सोचना चालू करते हैं. 16 के बाद सोचना चालू किया आपने कि हाँ चलो 10th हुआ, फिर 12th हुआ, 12th के बाद साइंस ले लिया, साइंस के बाद कुछ भी जो भी कोर्सेस ले लिए, ठीक है. अब मेरे को मेरे सेंसेस को ग्रेटिफाई करने के लिए एक्सटेंडेड सेंसेस, बहुत लोग बोलते हैं ना मैं अपने लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहा, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ अपने परिवार वालों के लिए कर रहा हूँ. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं मैं अपने कम्युनिटी के लिए कर रहा हूँ, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं मैं सोसाइटी के लिए कर रहा हूँ, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं नेशन के लिए कर रहा हूँ, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं मैं पूरे वर्ल्ड के लिए कर रहा हूँ. तो एक होता है खुद की सेंसेस को ग्रेटिफाई करना, दूसरा क्या होता है एक्सटेंडेड सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन, कि जो मुझसे जुड़े हैं या फिर जिनको मैं मान रहा हूँ कि ये मुझसे जुड़े हुए हैं, ये लोग मेरे हैं, अपने हैं, सो कॉल्ड, उनकी सेंसेस को ग्रेटिफाई करना. तो दोनों सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन है, ये ध्यान देने वाली बात है. These both are sense gratification. I can't say just because I'm satisfying my own senses, that is only sense gratification. No, that's wrong. Let's say if I think, this is my mother, she is not well. So I must, kind of take her, or I must provide her full facilities. Even after she becomes well, you won't let her do anything, because too much rest also makes your body unwell. So I think that I'm not looking for my comfort, but I'm looking for her comfort. But that is also, you can say, extended identification with the self. Can't call it sense gratification, but your identification with the self, right? Because medication is necessity of a body. So this is one thing. Now this particular Puranjana, he enjoys, और जब उसके last moments आते हैं, then he starts thinking, and then he asks for youth again to his sons. वो बोलता है, अब तो मैंने अपनी जवानी इन्वेस्ट कर दी, तो एक काम करो बेटा, आप पांचों में से कोई एक जनर को अपनी यूथ दे दो, so that I can enjoy my senses more. That is what we are trying to do, right? Everyone is trying to stay young. So many cosmetics are going on, so many surgeries, so many, medications, scientific advancement, you can say, on senses, even senses, illusions, so many things are there. We think that कि नहीं, हम लोग time को pass कर रहे हैं, right? But the thing is, what Prabhupada writes, that every sunrise and every sunset does what? It steals your age. But how many of us come to know? हम में से किसी को आज लगा कि सूर्य होगा और सूर्य ये हो गया, अस्त हो गया, तो हमारा जीवन उसने चोरी कर लिया? ऐसा लगा आप में से किसी को? So this in very same chapter of King Puranjana, there is a section in Canto 4, same section. We are attacked by King Chandavega and his army on King Puranjana. Now who is this Chandavega? It's time himself. Ye time hai. It's like very cleverly, kind of arranged. Narad Muni is saying this to Prachina Barishad. And this is very instructive when he says that this particular person or emperor, he is having 360 soldiers. उसके पास 360 soldiers हैं. So who are these 360 soldiers? Identify कर पाया? अभी time तो बता दिया मैंने. 360 क्या है? How many? 365 days. हाँ, right. So 360 is days. 5. That's like, kind of leap or something like that. So these are the soldiers. Okay. Soldiers are compared with day. Similarly, each and every soldier has his wife who also attacks. So day and night. So there are 720 people actually attacking King Puranjana. Who is this Puranjana? I'll disclose it. It's spoilers. For those who have not read Bhagavatam, you all can lament that why didn't we read it earlier. So I'm disclosing everything for you all now, so that you all will take up to Bhagavatam and start reading it at least. So this Puranjana is actually the living entity, the soul, who's engaged. What is this kingdom? This kingdom is actually, जिस kingdom पे वो राज कर रहा है, that kingdom is what? The body. It is having 9 gates. आप लोगों को पता है हमारे body में भी 9 gates हैं. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, rectum and anus. So down we are having 2 and up we are having 7. It's kind of like that. So this is what, is said, how the living being wastes his time. So similarly, what Prabhupada says, that in this particular shloka 43, that after taking his birth, the second birth, he's aware. Okay, he's aware that whatever I have got is of such an importance, and then he starts his endeavor in that particular manner. Same seriousness, double seriousness. It's kind of like that. Now when we go to the next shloka, this is the second last shloka practically, and we'll be having a Q&A like we are having. Okay, I'll ask questions also. So because of his practice in the last life, he becomes automatically attracted to the Vedic principles or that particular life. अभी भरत महाराज के केस में, he was already aware कि how he fell down from his practice, how he was so much attached to the deer and everything. He had a remembrance. But now it's not important that everyone has that. You can see by the inclination. जब हम गांव में जाते हैं या फिर कोई भी बच्चा होता है समाज में, यदि in cities if there's a child who is much more attached to these the Vedic culture and everything, people will call him crazy, right? But गांव में क्या बोला जाता था कि आपका बच्चा तो महान आत्मा है. गांव के बुजुर्ग, अब तो गांव भी नहीं रहा, अब वहाँ भी पागल ही बोलते हैं सब. तो वो जो बुजुर्ग होते हैं, बुजुर्ग यदि देखते हैं कि बच्चे में लक्षण है, उसके अंदर कुछ गुण है, कि वो भगवान के प्रति या भगवान की भक्ति के प्रति, कुछ विधि विधान के प्रति थोड़ा आकर्षित है, अट्रैक्शन है उसका, तो फिर बोलते हैं कि आपका बेटा पक्का पूर्व जन्म में महात्मा रहा होगा, इसलिए अब इस जन्म में भी उसको इसी प्रकार की आ सकती है. So previously there used to be a process just after birth known as गर्भोधान संस्कार. फिर before like having a child, फिर उसके बाद उनके सामने बुक रखी जाती थी, एक चाकू रखा जाता था या अनाज रखा जाता था, उसके बेसिस पे आइडेंटिफाई करते थे कि इसका फ्यूचर क्या होगा, क्षत्रिय बनेगा, वैश्य बनेगा या फिर ब्राह्मण बनेगा, क्या बनेगा. कुछ नहीं लिया तो पता नहीं क्या बनेगा, लेकिन कुछ ना कुछ तो जरूर लेगा वो बच्चा, मतलब उसका है ही, कोई ना कोई तो चीज वो पक्का पकड़ेगा, तो उससे पता चल जाता. Similarly, what Prabhupada is saying in this, that this particular yogi, they are not attracted to any other process. Now, if we look at processes, there's first is what we are having is Dhyan Yoga, right? Then we are having Gyan Yoga, then we are having Bhakti Yoga, okay? So in Dhyan Yoga, what one does is he becomes attracted to the impersonal form of the Lord. So if he becomes attracted to the impersonal form of the Lord, his goal is to merge into Brahman, right? Then comes Gyan Yoga. Gyan Yoga is what? He realizes that beyond this particular Brahman effulgence, there is Paramatma feature of the Lord. Okay? And he knows that Paramatma is there and I need to meditate on Paramatma, right? The thing is, in these two processes, one has to leave everything and go to the forest and then practice. Not possible in city life as per Vedic injunction. But here comes, we are having an upper hand now. For all the people or devotees who are practicing Bhakti Yoga, you all can remain in this world, remain in whatever position you are, and then you can do Bhakti. Bhakti Yoga is so simple. Even after being in allurements or so-called, cities, villages, or amongst people, you don't need to go to jungle or something like that to practice Bhakti Yoga. That's the benefit of Bhakti Yoga. Okay. So Prabhupada quotes one of the verses from Bhagavatam. Okay. So I'll read that and then we'll expand on that. Okay. Aho bata स्वपचतो गरीयान् यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यं ते पुस्तपस्ते जुहुः शश्नुरार्या brahmanashur nama grinananti yete. So what is written here कि इसमें बता रहे हैं प्रभुपाद कि O Lord, persons who chant the holy names of your lordships are far advanced in spiritual life. Even if born in families of dog eaters, such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and sacrifices, bathed in all sacred places, and finished all scriptural studies. Okay. So इसमें महात्म्य बताया गया है कि किस प्रकार जो भी डिवोटी है, अगर कोई भी व्यक्ति है, जैसे हमने बताया कि बिकॉज ऑफ समथिंग और अनदर कुछ पाप कृत्यों की वजह से उनका पतन हो जाता है. अब लेट्स से दैट पर्टिकुलर sinful sins which they have committed is to such an extent that they are actually given birth in the lower species of life, okay, such as chandalas, yavanas, or something like that. So even in that case, if you look कि the chandalas and everyone, if he is taking birth in the family of chandalas also, he is having an attraction for the holy name. हम लोग आज के कलयुग में क्या देख रहे हैं कि if there are devotees or persons who take birth in high aristocratic families, then too they are not having that particular kind of impressions to perform devotional service, wherein we say if a person is born into a brahmana family but he comes out to be a meat eater or drunkard, right? So you can't call him a brahmana. He's having a previous samskara which he's carrying, okay? But since he's just taken birth in that. Similarly, you see a person in so-called status that he's born or a low born, okay? Still he's having a great taste for devotional service. So the example given herein is of Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, okay? So Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, the holy name that we are chanting, okay, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did what, that he approved Haridas Thakur as Namacharya because he used to chant that many names per day, okay, every day he used to chant. But who was Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur? He was born in a Muslim family, right? To an extent that, while he was chanting the holy name, there were Brahmanas who got offended. How can he chant the holy name? He's low born. He's born into a Muslim family, and he's chanting the holy name. So what they did, they went to the Qazi. Okay. So when they went to the Qazi, they complained. They said, this particular person, he's born into a Mohammedan family, and he has left your religion. Qazi was Muslim. He said he has left your religion and he has taken up our religion and he's chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So what to do? So then Qazi called him. Qazi said, okay, Haridas, what you can do? Why you are chanting this name? He said that I'm not chanting. Even if I try to stop, I can't stop. It's just like that. So now he said, but the thing is, if you go on chanting, that's not good. He said, what to do now? He said, if you don't stop chanting, what I'll do, I'll kill you. Okay? It's like that. Or I'll cut you into pieces. So there's this one beautiful shloka in CC. So wherein Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur says, Khanda khanda hoya deha yadi jaya prana tabiyame vadanena chhadi hari nama. He says that even if you cut my body, I can't stop chanting. To an extent that how many other pieces of you do of my body, each and every piece will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. To that extent. हमसे तो होता नहीं, हम तो माला पकड़ के बैठते हैं, सुबह में झपकी लग जाती है आधे घंटे तक एक ही नाम ले रहे हैं, पता चल रहा है, एक ही बीट पे चल रहा है. So this was like dedication. So this proves the point, even if a devotee is born in his next life due to his past sinful deeds into a low-born family, what happens is he is still attracted. And what is the essence of it? Why is he able to take birth, or his birth, why is that so auspicious? They say that if one is able to take the holy name in this particular lifetime, that means that he has done all the Vedic processes, of self-realization in his previous life, all the yajnas, bathed in all the sacred rivers. He has done everything that is to be done to ultimately achieve this stage. So now how many of you all chant over here? Online people can raise your hands virtually. I can see it on the screen. Please do not unmute yourself and start shouting in the mic. Krishna Prabhu, I know Prabhuji, you are already chanting for the people who have joined first time. Okay, I didn't see you all. I was seeing online. Oh, very less. Very less. Not most of them are chanting. Okay, now you all can keep your hand down. So at least if you are chanting 2 rounds, okay, you all should chant more than that actually. But for those who are not chanting, you all should take up to chanting just to check, whether you have done something pious in your life or not. Your previous birth. If you have already done something, you'll be able to chant it easily. But even if you have not, this holy name will purify you and make you eligible. It's just like, Prabhupada gives this example of a drunkard. So someone can say that I'm not able to, chant more number of rounds. So Prabhupada says what a drunkard does is first he associates with drunkards. So similarly, if you want to chant, you need to associate with devotees first. Okay. So now the drunkard is kind of, daily he's drinking little bit, but his capacity increases to a full bottle later on. He is able to finish full bottle of wine, beer, or whatever intoxicant that you can imagine. Similarly, if a person starts chanting at least 1 round, he'll go on increasing because he'll be getting taste out of it. If you all are given wine, even if given, don't drink it, still, you will not feel that much taste because you all are devotees are already taking the holy name. So holy name is much more, tasty than all these beverages or something like that. Still outside, when people drink, for them, first time it's, kind of nasty. But later on, they start finding taste in it and they start increasing their limit. Similarly, it's just like a medicine, right? So medicine no one likes, but the thing is, when you are relieved of your pain, you take the medicine voluntarily, even if it's bitter. Similarly, when we chant, what we see is that we are getting purified, but we require that much intelligence and purity while we are chanting the holy name, right? So similarly, you'll start from step 1, go on. And then again, if you're chanting with full dedication, Krishna will reciprocate and you will be able to feel that reciprocation. So this is the example, of what Prabhupada gives of Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. Now, when we go to the 45th shloka, this particular shloka says what? That now this particular yogi who is endeavoring in such an state, Now he is able to know that what I was supposed to do and what I have done. What happens is he becomes freed. He becomes freed from all those reactions, or he nears the perfection. And sincerely following, what happens is with determination, he begins to complete the unfinished task. And you know, when he finishes it, what happens is Krishna is already waiting. How many of you all, you know, have heard of this very famous pastime? There is something known as Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Okay? So, in that, there is a devotee named Gop Kumar. These are very exalted pastimes, but I'll just give you all a glimpse of it because what I have heard, I'll just share. So this Gop Kumara, he's just like we can kind of see ourselves in it. So Gop Kumara is as such that he is busy in this material world, okay, and then later on he thinks, no, I don't think so that I belong over here. Where do I belong? So he starts going from one place to another. So from one place to another, when he starts going, what happens? He goes from one place to another, one state to another, one nation to another, then from one planet to another. Is so much kind of elevated. And Krishna is waiting. Krishna is seeing his endeavor and again, but he is not able to, find himself. Comes back again. So now Krishna comes, and Krishna comes in the form of Guru. Then he guides this Gop Kumara. Okay, now you do like this. Okay. Now Gop Kumara does like that. I'm just cutting it very short. This is like very, very interesting pastime. You all must read. These are like, in 3 volumes, this much thick. So I'm just giving you something, a section of it, kind of. So now when Gop Kumara reaches the spiritual world, Krishna sees him. And when Krishna sees him, he starts crying. Crying, genuine cry. There's this book called as The Loving Search for Lost Friend. The title is so much, it's something that gives you goosebumps. So now Krishna is searching for Gop Kumara. Similarly, Krishna is searching for each and every living entity, each and every one of us who's sitting right over here. And when Krishna sees Gop Kumara, what happens is, he starts crying. Now everyone wonders, who's this Gop Kumara? And Gop Kumara himself wonders, why is he crying, looking at me? So then Krishna calls him near. Krishna is already grazing his cows with his cowherd boyfriends in some pasture grounds and something. And Krishna embraces him. Gale milte hain Krishna se. And he starts crying heavily. And Krishna says, what did I not do to bring you here? I did every possible thing. Every possible thing. You remember this instance in your lifetime where you got this particular direction or instruction. Krishna names variety of them, And then he says, at last I had to personally come in the form of Guru, wherein we say, this Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastra. Guru is not different from Krishna. He says that I came as your Guru personally in order to bring you here. And see, now you're here. Then Gop Kumara actually realizes his position and he also starts crying. Similarly, we are here in this material world. We are saying, Krishna, okay, you wait, let me enjoy. We are turning our backs on Krishna, right? I'm sitting here, Krishna is there. Similarly, our living entity facing the backs to Krishna. And Krishna is calling us, okay, come here. No, we don't want to come. It's just like that. Let me enjoy some more. Let me get troubled by some more. So this is our position. This is our, we can say, what we want, kind of, the living entity, this very desire. That is the reason why we are here in this material world. No other reason. Most of the people say what? कि भगवान ने इनके साथ गलत क्यों किया? या फिर भगवान मेरे साथ गलत क्यों कर रहा है? The thing is, who is responsible? There was one reporter who asked. There was one of the people who questioned Srila Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, what is the cause of this material creation? No, there must be some reason, right? The Lord won't create it out of whim. ऐसे बनाना बना. So Prabhupada shouted and Prabhupada said, you are the cause. You are the cause of this material creation. Because we wanted to enjoy, that's why Krishna created it. It's not like Krishna wanted to create it. It's because you wanted, and just in order to fulfill your desire, Krishna created this material world. Just like that. everything, every other thing. Krishna facilitates every action, right from the pujari who's in the altar, who's willing to offer deep to the Lord, to a person who wants to drink wine or kill a person, right? Drunkard picking a bottle of wine, or a person who wants to kill another person, getting a pistol in his hand or a knife in his hand, whatever way he wants. Thing is, the jiva only desires, just like that. And because he wants to do, Lord sanctions, right? Just like that. So now, since we all have heard all this, बहुत अच्छा लगता है लेक्चर सुन करके, आप लोगों को सुन करके, मुझको लेक्चर दे करके, लेकिन एप्लीकेशन क्या होता है इन आवर लाइफ? Nil, right? How many of you all agree with that? First, I'll agree. Hey, Ankit. So that's the whole thing. At least we should start applying something, questioning something. We'll have, this particular class used to be previously an interactive session wherein we were used to assign, Prabhuji used to assign us some slokas, and then we used to study it and come here. And it's not that we used to, you all are sitting that there, right? So the role used to be reversed. The person sitting over here used to hear. The person sitting on that side used to say commentaries of various acharyas or something like that. It used to be troublesome, but the thing is, at the end of the day, you would be able to, know that what you are reading. When we used to read, we never used to understand anything. When I used to read various commentaries of Acharya. Just now before the lecture, I saw Tulsi Prabhu's message, and Tulsi Prabhu actually gave me commentaries of all the Acharyas 35 minutes ago. That is when I sat in the class. Prabhu then gave me this particular PDF, right? So I actually wanted to speak from that also, but the thing is, I don't know how much I would be able to expand on that, or it's kind of, So similarly, if you all are willing, I'm not qualified that much, but you all can just start reading, and when Prabhuji comes, you all can surprise him in a good manner, because Prabhuji also expects the same from every one of us, right? That's it. This session will end it, and if anyone has any questions, anything related to this session, they can ask, just like that.